Welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire.
What does asbestos management mean to you?
I used to really struggle with the asbestos management at my site, but now it's a breeze.
It used to be really expensive. I was paying loads, but now I've got my asbestos power team in place. It's so much easier.
Asbestos can be a pain in the arse if not handled right.
We had to stop the job because asbestos was discovered. Now we don't have that problem.
Asbestos management is easier than you think. Asbestos management. Be proactive, not reactive. Think about asbestos first, not last.
And now your hosts, best-selling authors and asbestos experts, Ian Stone and Neil Munro.
Welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire. I'm Ian Stone.
I'm Neil Munro.
So today we're talking about what does asbestos mean to me?
Yes, this comes off the back of a campaign that we've been involved with, and it's basically just raising the awareness around asbestos.
Yeah, and we've done different stuff. We've written some articles and some blogs, haven't we? And also just kind of punted out a little bit on social media about it. But
yes,
I feel it's such a strong kind of sentiment and subject behind it that I wanted to talk about it more and kind of really answer that question of what it means to me. And I come at it from kind of two different viewpoints. Of one, I've had first-hand knowledge of asbestos disease with people that I've met, friends that I've made over the years, mesothelioma actually killing people that I've known. And it's a difficult subject to talk about, right? And I've seen firsthand the issues and effects that asbestos has on people. So like I say, I've seen people that have gone on to pass on from asbestos-related disease, which that's hard enough in itself. But additionally, on top of that, I've also seen the aftermath that's left behind for families and the carnage that it creates from the simple fact that people have died young and younger than they should have. They've not passed away in old age. They've literally kind of gone before their time. And some of these people, again, it's kind of no rhyme or reason of how or why they've contracted mesothelioma and passed. Some have been school teachers, which again, when you kind of think about it, you would think that they're right low down in the pecking order. And
yeah, definitely. Like take the Paul, who we interviewed a few weeks ago on the podcast, Paul Cook. You know, he was diagnosed with mesothelioma in his 40s.
Yeah.
That scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
It's like, I work in the industry, so chances are I've probably been exposed to asbestos more than if you had no exposure to asbestos. I know that sounds silly, but
that's right, because that's what Paul had said, because he was from a commercial background. He'd worked in offices.
Yes, in his mind, he's never come across asbestos.
No, he's been nowhere near it.
And this essentially is the whole point of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you ask this question to somebody outside the industry, outside of construction, if you asked them what does asbestos mean to them, they would say, well, nothing.
No.
Got nothing to do with me. I've got no contact with it. I've never been exposed to it. Asbestos is a thing of the past.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People would usually say it's a thing of the past. At best, you might have an answer say, well, I know it's not good for you, or I know it can kill you. But that's kind of about it. And that is the message that is trying to be spread, really, just around it.
It's the message out to, I say this, normal people outside of the industry.
Everyday people that are not involved.
Normal people who are not in the construction industry, you know, they're not in the asbestos industry, and they've got virtually no knowledge or working history with asbestos.
And this is it. This is the second part of what asbestos means to me, for me. Like I say, the first part is seeing the devastation caused from asbestos over the years. And the second part is, well, I've been in the asbestos industry nearly 20 years now, and from coming in, like I say, nearly 20 years ago to now, nothing's changed. I really kind of don't feel that there is that much more knowledge around asbestos. Possibly a slight one, I don't know. I kind of question my own sensibility on that, but it's not good enough, really, in the 20 years that I've been in the game. It's not like, right, well, it's gone from 20 years ago, it was unknown, now it's known, and everybody knows about it, and everybody's on it, and everybody's got policies in place. Everybody's got a survey. It's not that. We're still now in 2021 doing surveys for people in properties for the first time ever, commercial clients. And for me, that's a massive worry because, like I say, these people that I've seen go on and pass and die from asbestos, there's other people out there now still getting exposed to asbestos unknowingly, unwittingly. And we've got everything in place. We've got the framework in place. We've got the legislation and the regulations in place. We've got if you get caught doing something wrong from the HC, there's the FIFA intervention scheme where you will be fined and everything's in place. And those things have all come about in the last 20 years, but it's still not really where it should be.
No, I think there's an underlying issue of everyone treats asbestos as a thing of the past. Everyone kind of thinks that we used to have a problem with asbestos, but things are a lot better now. We're not using it. Yeah, okay, that is a step forward. That we have banned the use of it, so we're no longer making materials. We're no longer importing asbestos into this country.
But it's the legacy, and we've got the biggest legacy in the world.
Yeah, exactly. We imported probably one of the we were the biggest users of amosite asbestos in the world.
Yeah.
And that legacy is still in our buildings.
It's not disappeared.
It's still everywhere. And the problem is, because of that mental thought and that mental process of associating asbestos use as a thing in the past, people don't realise the risk that is actually still present out there. And the priority on that information coming across to people working and even just occupying buildings is just slipping. It's just gradually going down. I feel like the requirement in people's mind is going down, not up. People are thinking it's a thing of the past. There's less need to do anything because it's not an issue. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
So instead of increasing our asbestos management processes, I feel that people are declining them. It's not becoming as big a priority because they believe that it's a less risk to them and them as a business.
We spoke about this on another podcast as well, and it's coming out of the whole coronavirus thing, and it's a worry about what people are going to be doing as they try and build themselves back out of wherever they've been, from businesses being shut and not earning money and things like that, and health and safety, that does get cut. People take shortcuts and chances and think, do you know what? Look, if I don't do this, I can save X amount of pounds now. And in the short term, that's the right decision for them. But in the long term, it's not the right decision.
Yeah. And again, we kind of go over this problem. Again, it's because asbestos is not that immediate. You don't get that immediate impact. You don't get your gas boiler is faulty. Carbon monoxide, poisoning. That's pretty, it's quite quick. An explosion is quite quick. Yeah. So you don't necessarily cut those corners because you see the immediate risk.
Electrics, if you get electrics wrong, you get a shock straight away.
Bang, you're dead.
Yeah, a very nasty shock, a burn, or death. Like you say, with asbestos, it's not like that. It's a longer burn and a longer process, and that's the problem with it.
Yeah,
and I think that's the problem that we face with trying to get that message across to people.
Yeah, no, definitely. It is a continuing issue with that. So yeah, like you said, asbestos is still an issue. When we're still getting inquiries from new clients who have never done anything, and that I believe that is getting more and more present.
Which I suppose that's a good thing, because if we are getting them more, then there's rumblings of the message being spread.
Yeah.
But it just blows my mind that,
it does.
Like I say, 20 years in the game, and it's like some people careers are only 20 years. Do you know what I mean? Of in a subject before moving on or doing whatever. And yeah, it does blow my mind. So yeah, that was the point of this podcast, just really to go over what asbestos does mean to myself and Neil. And it's beyond the fact that I'm an asbestos consultant. It's beyond the fact that we're in this day to day. It's the bigger picture. It really, truly is the bigger picture. And I feel really passionate about it. And I think looking back over my career, I've held some really privileged positions within my career, to kind of really see firsthand the issues caused and things that have happened. And like I say, one from the professional standpoint of not seeing change and not seeing things happen, but two from a personal standpoint of having relationships with people that either have gone on to pass on, or meeting and befriending the families of those people. And it's hard. I've been to kind of Meso Warriors. I went to a meeting when I was at ATAC and met some of the Meso Warriors, and they're kind of either people that have been diagnosed or the families of those that have been diagnosed. And I just know firsthand the issues that is being faced by people out there on a day-to-day basis, and standing there having conversations with people that are left asking me, why was it their wife that died from it? Why was it their husband that is no longer here? It's not fair. It's not right. And it's, like I say, I come at it from both those points of view, and I'll probably sound a little bit emotional, and it makes me feel emotional because I know these things are happening day in and day out still, and it's not good enough. So,
and an important point to put to that, all of this, asbestos exposure is preventable.
Yes.
And that's the whole point. But it's only preventable if people take it seriously.
Yeah.
And actually acknowledge that they may have an issue, and that they acknowledge that they may need to do something, and that they acknowledge that they may need to kind of educate and keep their people safe. Yeah, it really does need to kind of get that message out there to everyone, and not keep it kind of locked down within the industry. It's easy for us to sit here and say, come on, you need to do something. And some people may view that as, well, you would say that because
exactly,
you're getting a job out of it.
It's not. It cuts really deeper than that.
Yeah, it's really not about that. And you know, come to us as a consultancy. We'll always give you the best advice to help you meet your budget. If that means that you can't do anything, then we'll help you still stay safe without spending the money.
Yeah.
And it's all about having the policies, the procedures in place to basically, all it comes down to is stopping people being exposed to asbestos.
Exactly that.
So that's all we want to say.
Yeah, I just, please remember, asbestos first, not last.